Morning YouTubers, Ben here from 100 It is a Sunday. We have 26 days, 11 hours to Ironman, which gives you the indication of what time of day it is and the fact that the road is blocked where I live. A bit of resistance in my journey already this morning. So we have 26 days remaining and I am on my way for a run. Heading up to Arundel, an area which I really like running in, through the Duke of Norfolk estate, through the Hammering Park estate, where it all kind of merges into one. The weather this morning's been on and off, as you'll see in the footage of the ride. We've got some cloud, some very dark cloud over where we're going, but also some sun breaking through the nice little bits. Feeling pretty good in myself. Had a line this morning. My sleep was interrupted in the night, so felt the need to really just clock in a couple more hours to ensure that I wouldn't be feeling any kind of, or there'd be any sleep deprivation or lethargy today. But I feel okay, you know. From yesterday's 4-hour ride, I'm not encountering any pain. I'm not aware that I did that yesterday. There's no soreness in areas where you would expect to be, you know, sore or some chaffing. So I think the Sudocrem which I'm using as a chamois cream seems to work with me. I used a chamois cream a couple of weeks ago and I found it uncomfortable. It was like it just didn't feel comfortable, whereas before I've been using Sudocrem. So I think Sudocrem may be my race day solution. And there's little bits and pieces like this that I think are important to iron out at the early stages. It's okay if you've been a triathlete, you've competed in tri events before and you're aware of these things. So going into the first event, you know, it may not be a little shock. But if you are a complete newbie where you've never spent 4 hours in your life on a bike, and then you're expected to go out and run without there being any skin irritations, then, you know, it's important, I think, to get this sorted early on. So that's where we're at with that. Meditated a little bit this morning. I was just thinking about a time in my life where I was incredibly happy, and thinking about the people that were around me at the time, the environments that I was in at that specific time that contributed towards that feeling. 2 or 3 days leading up to that particular moment, and then what was happening in my extended life. You know, what was happening outside of my existence in that exact present moment. was thinking about how I'm able to replicate that, and whether if I was to go back and to that place, if I was to go back to that environment with the same people, the same person, whether I'd have the same emotional connection, the same memory imprinted that brought about the exact same emotions. And as you may know or may not know, the mind only remembers the last memory. It doesn't generally remember the event itself. It remembers the last time that you remembered that last picture that you imprinted in your mind. It remembers that, and of course that can become disjointed. It can become heightened dependent on the state that you're in when you last remembered it. So if I used that past memory as a tool to get me out of an emotional negative state, or some form of emotional disturbance, and then attempted in the future to use that event, that memory of that event, to heighten an existing state that I was in at that present moment, the effects of that memory would change. Going back to the original thing, if I was to return to this place with a particular person and encounter all of the things that led up to that day, replicate it, the feelings that I feel when I remember that will not be the same. They'd still be very good, and I think it's important to understand that kind of the way in which we think. If we're to utilize visualization as a tool to allow us to mindfully get the edge over ourselves, not others. I'm not a great fan of getting the edge over other people. I think it's not a particularly positive way to go about succeeding. But if we were to constantly evolve and aim to get the edge over ourselves, constantly hack our way through positive emotions, through developing as individuals, by utilising visualisation you can do that. And the tools are quite simple. You immerse yourself in that past moment. In the same way in which if you have a particularly bad dream, you wake up and within the first few seconds until you regain that sense of present, you still adopt that mentality, you still adopt elements of that dream, carrying on into the real world, if you can call this the real world. So to use visualization, you can effectively hack the mind and utilize some of those positive feelings to get you through those moments. I've been using it for a long time, seeing the end goal, utilizing the creative ability and the visualization within the mind. And I think it's something that isn't used enough in sport. At the elite level, you hear of it a lot, and I know a number of sports psychologists use visualization, and it's been used for many, many years. Seeing yourself completing, seeing yourself going through the finish line, seeing yourself in whatever context needs to be. But for the average Joe, the average age grouper, the average person competing in any kind of sport, I think it's one of those things that kind of is the last thing on people's mind, no pun intended. I think it's the thing that is kind of neglected because it seems a bit far out, a bit too alternative. In fact, once learn, you can learn how to visualize it, you can learn how to use the mind to your advantage. You can actually use it in all of the aspects of your life to produce some really good key emotional shifts. Now, as I've said before, for me, I am best active, I am best creative in my mind when I'm in the warmth, when I'm around good, positive people with good energy, when I'm connecting with nature, I enjoy good quality food, and fresh fish, I enjoy good music, I enjoy the warmth of the world. It might seem a bit spacey or a bit vast, but for me there's no need to crunch down to the specifics of any kind of visualization, because I know that if I was to lift myself up, plant myself in a certain environment with certain people, I know that that's where I am the most productive. Now, because of that, I visualise myself in that place and utilise those snapshot images of the past and put myself there when I need to enhance a current state. I hope that makes sense on a kind of roundabout ways. But visualization essentially is such a powerful tool. It's something that many people take for granted. It's addictive, ultimately. Right, so I'm just coming into April now. As you saw, I had to take a detour because the crossings at the points where I normally go are being worked on. So I've had to go through Ford, and now I've just got to think about how I'm going to get to it now. Right, I'm going to go up there, aren't I? Which is going on at the moment in Emmerich Park, which is called the Bluebell 10k. They have a 10 mile and they have a 5k and a 5 mile. I was thinking about taking part in it, but it's a route that I've run a couple of times over the last few weeks and it's one of my regulars. It's pretty busy. There's going to be a lot of people doing it, which is kind of cool, but it was early this morning and I don't see the purpose in paying £40 to run a route that I run anyway. So I'm not going that way. So we're entering now the Norfolk Duke of Norfolk estate. We've got Arundel Castle here, just here, and it looks like there's no parking here. Oh, there is. There we go. So the run that I'm expecting to do is going to take me about an hour and 45 minutes to 2 hours. Basically, I'm going to be heading from Arundel through the Duke of Norfolk estate, over down into South Stoke, back along past the Black Rabbit pub. If you're in Arundel, down on the south coast, it's a good pub to visit. It's right on the River Arun. Following the River Arun, back inland, round Swanbourne Lake, back up through Arundel village, town itself, back up to the car. It should take about an hour and 45 minutes to 2 hours. It's a mix of track, cross country, bit of road, bit of trail, bit of everything really. If I see any variants or bits and pieces off route, then I'll follow those, but it's going to be a nice easy paced run, because I have a swim this evening which is 3,000, I think 3.6 or 3.8. So that's it for now. Thanks for tuning in. I will catch up with you in a couple of hours. For now, peace out. Hi guys, so that's the run done for today. Not as long as I thought. In time wise, I think my pace was a little bit faster than previously, so it didn't take as long. But beautiful scenery, you know, absolutely stunning. Just looking out over Amberley. Clear sky as much as it needed to be. Lots of lambs around, which even makes it even more enjoyable. Overall good run. Feel happy. Could have done that easily again a couple of times, which is good because that's going to be the marathon. Just got in the zone. As I said, it takes a little while for me to get the legs moving, to get the mind in the zone, to block out all of the external thoughts about other bits and pieces going on in life. So I'm just on the way now to go and get showered, changed, and then it will be a day with the family. Then later this afternoon, off to the gym for a swim. So I will catch up with you later. Hi guys, so I've just finished a 3,800 metre swim. Did it in an hour and 10 minutes ish. An hour and 11 minutes actually, bar 2 seconds. There's no intention of getting in the pool and setting any times. It was simply get in, set the reminder on the Garmin and swim. That was pretty much the crux of my pre-swim training plan. It was It's going to be interesting to see how I get on in the sea in a couple of weeks. So compare the two in a pre-event swim, and the difference between getting in the pool and swimming and getting in the sea and going at a probably a little bit faster pace. As I said, today it was all about just getting in the pool and swimming without any time restrictions. I actually felt myself going very, very slow, so I reckon I was going at about 70-80% of my ability today, if not a little bit less. So that's it from today. It's a Sunday, I'm off home now. Very early night, I think. Some food, very early night, and then it's a rest day tomorrow. I've got a few bits and pieces to catch up on, and that, my friends, is about it. So another good day, another productive day. Feeling confident, feeling very happy. Looking forward to getting out there. Really excited now. Just want to get out in the sun. Want to get out on the roads. Some good quality roads. That's it. So for me, for now, peace out. Have a good day, and I look forward to catching up with you tomorrow.